You always say you love me, Dad, but then you're always trying to scam my birthday money. Are you even my real dad? The tiny, tear-choked voice hammered at my eardrums. The dizziness from a moment ago vanished, and I was suddenly, unpleasantly, wide awake. Looking at the little girl sobbing her heart out in front of me, I was pretty sure I knew what had happened. I'd somehow jumped worlds. Not only had I jumped worlds, but I'd apparently acquired a 5-year-old daughter in the process. And there was more. I was currently with said daughter on a live reality TV show about parenting called Dad Bods and Dad Squads. Is this national humiliation? I muttered. In my previous life, I was a career-obsessed workaholic. I hadn't even had a girlfriend, let alone a clue how to take care of a kid. And now, live TV? This was basically asking to be roasted online. I looked at my daughter, who was now wailing at full volume, and a heavy feeling settled in my chest. Just then, a voice pinged in my head. Ding! The chill parent system has been activated. Ha! My despair evaporated instantly. Right, of course. A system. Standard issue for transmigrators. The system activated, and its user manual helpfully downloaded straight into my brain. Chill parenting, influence those around you with your unique parenting style to collect emotion points. Emotion points can be used for prize draws. Current emotion points. 1. As a Gen Zer, I knew exactly what chilling or lying flat meant. Especially considering my past life. From the moment I could understand anything, I was shoved onto the hamster wheel of endless studying and competition. I carried the weight of my parents' sacrifices, my teachers' expectations, and my own damned future. Growing up, I never watched cartoons, never ate junk food, candy, or anything my parents deemed unhealthy. Heck, I didn't even have a single friend to play with. And what was the result? After graduation, I landed a good job in everyone else's eyes. But the office jungle was even more cutthroat than school. Because at work, it wasn't just about individual skill. It was about office politics, networking, and a whole lot of other BS. And then, poof. I ended up here. I had no idea how I died in my previous life. But I knew one thing. Looking back, there wasn't a single joyful memory worth mentioning. I despised that kind of grind, but I was always pushed forward by all sorts of pressure. Now I was a father. I didn't want to become the kind of parent I hated most. Besides, using this live show to quickly rack up emotion points and get some rewards? That sounded like the best shortcut to a better life right now. Before, I had no choice but to hustle. Now, with a system, not only did I not want to hustle anymore, but I had no intention of letting my kid get sucked into that vortex either. This system, I like it. It gets me. I was pretty pleased with the system, but the crying next to me was getting louder. Lily, honey, I know you want to cry, but can you maybe hold off for a second? My daughter's name was Lily Vance. Lily for short. After my serious question, the crying didn't lessen, it cranked up a notch. This time, it wasn't just me, even the cameraman in the room looked like he was getting a headache. We're about to go live, man. My camera's almost on. First impressions are everything, you gotta get her to stop crying. The broadcast hadn't started yet, so the cameraman gave me a friendly heads up. I nodded and hurriedly tried to console her again. But halfway through, I gave up. I realized I was trying too hard, being too serious about consoling her. This went against the system's core philosophy. You still crying? You think I can't cry louder than you? Still at it, huh? Alright, let's have a contest. First one to stop crying wins. Loser barks like a dog. At the same time, the number of viewers waiting for the live broadcast to start had already exceeded 200,000. Metro City Broadcasting. The studio for Dad Bods and Dad Squads. On the director's cue, the show officially began. The host, Nikki, stood stage, explaining the rules. Parenting. It's a challenge every family faces. Next, we'll dive into the childcare lives of 3 fathers from different generations to observe, learn, and reflect. Each viewer gets 1 vote per day. At the end of the show, the family with the most votes will receive a long-term collaboration offer from our program. Not only that, but the top-voted family will also receive a $500,000 parenting investment fund sponsored by the show. And now, let's go to our cameras. Whoosh! The camera panned, and the live feed immediately changed. The image showed the back of a man. An 80s dad, Kevin, wearing an apron, bustling around the kitchen. A quick glance around, whether it was the kitchen or the living room. You could only describe it as spotless. Just this one shot of his back instantly sparked a wave of comments. So fake. A man cooking, I can believe. But a house that clean? No way. LOL, he probably knew he was going on TV and hired a cleaner beforehand. Hey, just 'cause you can't do it doesn't mean others can't. You're underestimating the power of a girl dad. Real or fake, this dad just radiates love for his daughter. My vote today is definitely for him. As the comments grew more heated, the live feed switched again. The 90s dad, Brandon, sound asleep on the sofa. Comments storm. Is he still not awake? Ha ha ha, this feels a bit more real. Loves his sleep, very 90s. Y'all, teachers would never believe it. Kids late for school are all different, but the ones who oversleep? They're all part of the same tribe. When it came to the 90s dad, the comments were noticeably more lighthearted. Then, the screen flickered again. The Gen Z dad, me, Ethan, appeared on the live feed. Except, my face hadn't even fully appeared before my earth-shattering wails echoed throughout the livestream. Instantly. The comments were completely flooded with question marks. What's going on? What's with this dad? No idea, but it sounds like his daughter is crying too, just not as loud as him. Put. Ha ha ha. Classic Gen Z, totally off script. Legendary. Whose dad cries louder than their kid? See, I told you. Three's a crowd, but among three, there's bound to be one who's a terrible example. Ha ha ha, I'm dying. Is this what they call fighting fire with fire? My entrance was, without a doubt, the most explosive of the three dads. But compared to the amusement in the comments, the atmosphere in the studio was clearly off. Especially the oldest parenting expert, Dr. Evelyn Reed. She even slammed the table in anger and started criticizing. This Gen Z dad is ridiculous. His child is crying, and instead of comforting her, he's agitating her emotions. The moment she spoke, another parenting expert her chimed in. Exactly. How could he let his child cry like that? Emotions aside, crying so much isn't good for her health. This father is so unscientific. It wasn't just the parenting experts. Even among the 100 parents in the observation panel in the studio, many felt I was being too reckless. Conversely, it was the host, Nikki. Although she, too, had some doubts about my methods. She didn't rush to any conclusions. With her extremely high professionalism, Nikki still managed to smile. Alright, we've all met our three dads. Now, viewers, please cast your votes based on your first impressions for your favorite dad so far. As soon as she finished speaking, the portrait rankings of the three dads, which had been level, immediately changed. The vote count differenza was huge. It was also at this moment. In my head, as I was in a crying contest with my daughter, a prompt suddenly sounded. Hearing that emotion points had arrived, a faint smile flickered in my eyes. But, I was still crying. Completely ignoring the disdainful, even contemptuous, gaze of the cameraman beside me. Nor did I care how many netizens were currently paying attention to me. Finally, under my relentless persistence, Lily conceded. The little girl wiped her own tears and proactively approached me. Daddy, stop crying, we're on TV. If you're not embarrassed, I am. I give up, I surrender. Although only 5 years old. Lily spoke very coherently and clearly. Who could understand my pain? A father who gives up halfway through consoling his child. Clearly, just a little bit of bribery would have made her stop. Now look at this. No benefits gained, and I even had to be consoled by my daughter. Naturally, I didn't make things difficult anymore and immediately retracted my powers. The entire room instantly quieted down, the chaotic scene turned into a moment of peace. Seeing this, the viewers in the livestream room were immediately intrigued. No way, am I seeing things? The kid is consoling the dad? An illusion. Definitely an illusion. A 5-year-old consoling her 20-something dad. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. OMG, fighting fire with fire, my son is crying next to me right now, should I try this method? Baby, this dad is so hard to raise. While the comments flew wildly. The studio had also tallied the votes for the 3 dads. The 80s dad, Kevin Zhang, was undoubtedly at the top. His current vote count was as high as 70,000. A clear front-runner. The 90s dad, Brandon Chen, was in second place. His current vote count was 3,500. And this dad was still asleep, showing no signs of waking up. Finally. My vote count was 303. Not even a fraction of 80s dad Kevin Zhang's votes. Finally, the livestream camera turned to host Nikki. Alright, from the first impressions, it seems everyone prefers the 80s dad, Kevin Zhang, a little more. So, next, let's officially step into their lives. Whoosh! The program was now considered to have officially begun. The layout of the main livestream room suddenly changed. To ensure viewers didn't miss any details, the technical staff of the program opened 3 sub-livestream rooms. Viewers could click on whichever room they wanted to watch. And the comments were shared, making interaction even more convenient. As for the studio feed, the parenting experts and the 100-member observation panel were embedded in each sub-live stream room as a picture-in-picture. Over at 80s dad Kevin Zhang's place, a nutritious, rich, and beautifully presented breakfast was ready. Taking off his apron, Kevin glanced at the wall clock, then approached his daughter's room. Opening the door, Kevin, who had a slightly rugged appearance, possessed a voice gentle to the max. Molly, time to wake up, sweetie, time to get up. Just this one call sent shivers down the spines of everyone in the live stream room. Next, Kevin picked up the set of clothes he had prepared for his daughter the night before. The moment Molly opened her eyes, she was scooped up by Kevin, who helped her get dressed. Daddy, teacher says we should do our own things. Molly wants to dress herself. Even though her brain wasn't fully awake, Molly still mumbled her thoughts. No, Daddy has already arranged everything for you. Dressing yourself might not be comfortable, you might hurt yourself, not to mention it'll take too long, and you'll be late for school. Kevin decisively refused. After helping Molly get dressed, he led her to brush her teeth and wash her face. Naturally, Molly just needed to stand still obediently and cooperate with Kevin's instructions. Everything else, Kevin did for her. Until Molly was led to sit at the dining table. In the studio, picture-in-picture, parenting expert Dr. Reed spoke up. Preparing breakfast early for the child, having clothes ready, and even planning out her time. Molly's dad's parenting style, serious, meticulous, planned, very good. Like Dr. Reed. Viewers in the livestream room also chimed in with praise. As a woman, I admit I can't do as well as Molly's dad. He's too careful and considerate. Look, his eyes are full of love for his daughter. He truly lives up to the father's love is like a mountain saying. Diagnosed as a certified doting dad, no doubt. This kind of dad, if you asked him to give his heart to his daughter, he would. When his daughter gets married, he'll probably cry a river. Wait a minute, why do I feel like Molly doesn't look very happy? She's just a kid, probably still sleepy. Kevin received almost unanimous praise. It was also certain that he would receive more support votes today. As for the 90s dad next door, Brandon Chen finally woke up. However, he was woken up by his daughter, Haley Chen. The little girl woke up first. Realizing time was running out, she angrily punched her sleeping father in the face. Dad! Stop sleeping, I'm going to be late for school. An angry roar. Brandon shot up from the sofa. Oh my God. Haley, I'm so sorry, Daddy was playing games last night. No. Daddy was working overtime and was too tired, I overslept. Not explaining would have been better. The explanation immediately gave him away. Next, the father and daughter duo scrambled, trying to be a little less late. Seeing this, parenting expert Dr. Reed had something to say again. Sigh, never mind not cooking for his child, he doesn't even take her schooling seriously. Aren't parents like this worried about their child's future at all? Her viewpoint once again received agreement. The observation panel and viewers in the comments chimed in. Exactly, it sounds like he played games too late last night. He's really not setting a good example for his child and is even holding her back. No wonder the 90s generation is called the slacker generation. Indeed, now it seems they're not just slacking themselves, they want their children to slack off with them. I wonder if he's like this or all the time. If it's all the time, that's too irresponsible. However, because the comments for the three families in the livestream were interconnected. So currently, the comments not only had people praising Kevin and people doubting Brandon, but also some comments were actually praising me, Ethan. Holy crap! I just used his method, and I actually managed to deal with my bratty son. He usually cries non-stop. Before, I had to agree to so many of his demands. This time, he didn't ask for anything. 100 points, this Gen Z dad's parenting method might look a bit wild, but hey, it actually works. Gasp. I suddenly want to try it too. My daughter seems to always use her crying as a way to negotiate terms with me. It feels like it's become a tactic to control me. Ha! Thinking about it carefully, that's terrifying. Do kids really have so many tricks up their sleeves? Why not? They've got brand new brains, you know, they work pretty well. To be honest, my kid is a handful. It seems like this Gen Z dad's parenting method is more useful for me. My vote today, I'm giving it to him. I'm voting for him too, for no other reason than this Gen Z dad's looks. He's explosively handsome. On my end. A prompt sounded in my head again. Ding! Host's chill parenting has triggered emotional reactions from surroundings, gaining 1253 emotion points. Total emotion points, 1787. Not bad, one step closer to a prize draw. And the votes are starting to go up. While emotion points were steadily increasing. I also noticed my vote count in the livestream starting to budge. Perhaps I could actually compete for that $500,000 parenting investment fund. So, now you know how annoying constant crying can be, right? I put on an air of righteous indignation. Lily nodded her head vigorously. I know, Daddy's amazing. When she said this, Lily wasn't being sarcastic at all, she even gave her dad a thumbs up. Ha, of course. But, do you still want to know if I'm your real dad? I was very proud, and with a roll of my eyes, I threw Lily's original question back at her. Lily was genuinely curious. After all, she'd been in preschool for so long and had never heard of any dad who always tried to trick his kid out of their pocket money. Then give Daddy $20, and I'll tell you. I continued to tempt her step by step. The moment I said this, the viewers in the livestream room burst into laughter again. Ha ha ha. This Gen Z dad is too much. The little girl just stopped crying, and he's already trying to scam her money again. Father and child, heart to heart, father and child, battle of wits. It's over, this family is a mess. Be honest, pandas are so rare, is it because you stole all their bamboo shoots? It's over, Lily's eyes are getting clearer and clearer, she's probably about to be scammed. What are you waiting for? Learn from him. Don't you want your kids' allowance money? In the studio, Dr. Reed once again couldn't hold back. Outrageous. This Gen Z dad is outrageous. Parents are a child's support system. What he's doing will erode the child's trust in their parents. If children can't even trust their parents, then who will guide them in their future lives? This is truly absurd. A terrible example. The more agitated she became, the more Dr. Reed's voice was heard by all the viewers in the livestream. Some agreed, while others dissented. Not really, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't think this Gen Z dad is as bad as the expert says. Right. Everything is blown out of proportion. This expert is making a mountain out of a molehill. Hey, hey, hey! She's an expert. What are you guys arguing with an expert for? Haha, my bad, my bad. When it comes to expert opinions, we just need to say, oh, right, right, right. Oh, right, 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 whatever you say is right. The netizens weren't spouting any grand theories. But they didn't think I was really that bad. Every family's atmosphere is different. The way people live together is also different. How to raise children, it was always a case of different strokes for different folks. It wasn't like everyone had to follow a certain template, a certain model. Parenting. It's not a pig production line. Then again, even that pig production line isn't nationally standardized, is it? The screen full of oh, right, right, right undoubtedly caused considerable damage to Dr. Reed. Her face turned pale, and her voice trembled slightly. What kind of attitude is this? Do you think I'm being sensationalist? Do you find this Gen Z dad's parenting methods humorous and amusing? Children are the continuation of individuals, the continuation of families, the continuation of the nation, and even the continuation of the human race. His way of raising children, on a small scale, is irresponsible towards himself, irresponsible towards his child's future. On a larger scale, it's irresponsible towards the future development of the country, irresponsible towards the continuation of the human race. Dr. Reed's blood pressure skyrocketed, her voice nearly cracking. But no matter what she said, the comments were still full of oh, right, right, right. Even Nikki, known for her gentle demeanor, couldn't help but frown slightly as she looked at Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed, please don't get agitated. We believe everyone has discerning eyes. As you said, if his parenting method is incorrect, the most direct result will be that the child raised will not be outstanding enough. There's still plenty of time. We'll just watch and see. Truly a professional host. A few words. Neither embarrassed Dr. Reed nor conflicted with the current audience opinion in the comments. Dr. Reed snorted coldly, picked up the glass of water in front of her, and took a sip. Let's just watch. That Gen Zer, raising his kid like that, he's bound to ruin the child. Have you thought it through? You really want to give it to daddy? MHM. In sub-live stream room number 3. After a period of internal struggle, Lily finally decided to spend $20 to buy the truth. I took the money, feeling a little helpless inside. God is my witness. I really didn't intend to scam the little girl. I just wanted to test if Lily's psychological resilience had strengthened a bit. Haha, how could daddy not be your real dad? Only someone as handsome as me could produce such a beautiful daughter like you. Who else has such strong genes? Whoosh! I did a leapfrog, jumping right over Lily's head. Daddy! Lily, who had been looking expectant, was suddenly overwhelmed with disappointment. Even the light in her eyes dimmed considerably. A second later, her little mouth pouted, on the verge of tears. However, in the end, she only pouted. Tears welled up in her eyes but didn't fall. Sigh. Crying, it seemed, didn't solve any problems. Besides, what if I cried, and Daddy cried along with me? At least, in the future, Daddy couldn't use this excuse to scam money from me anymore. $20 for a lesson learned the hard way. Worth it. Lily didn't voice these self-comforting words, and no one heard them. But she just stood there, holding back the tears that threatened to fall. This scene once again ignited a wave of comments in the live stream room. Ah! I thought Lily was going to be scammed into crying by her dad again, but she didn't cry. Boo-hoo, Lily didn't cry, but I'm crying. She's so understanding it's heartbreaking. Everyone, I get it. This Gen Z dad isn't trying to scam Lily's money. He's intentionally provoking Lily to see if she'll still cry. That's right, I get it too. He looks unreliable and outrageous, but he's actually teaching his child a lesson. Crying doesn't solve any problems. OMG, the person above analyzed it so well. This time I'm enlightened, I get it too. Huh, so I just won a crying contest against my son, and now he's not crying. Should I hit him again to see if he cries? It's over, the person above has learned the wrong lesson. Wait, isn't anyone noticing Lily's expectant look after giving her dad the money? She wouldn't actually hope this unreliable dad isn't her real dad, would she? Ha ha. The comments had another small explosion. The viewership of my sub-livestream room number 3 also saw a slight increase. This directly brought me another wave of emotion points. Ding! Host's chill parenting has influenced the emotional reactions of those around, gaining 4,326 emotion points. Total emotion points, 6113. Triumphant news echoed in my head again. I was one step closer to the lowest tier prize draw. It seems like using this live show is indeed a good way to collect emotion points. I really need to work harder to win the championship and strive to become a long-term partner of this program. I wasn't dazed by this temporary small gain. I thought, planning for the longer road ahead. It's just that. Would my parenting style receive more approval? All I can say is, let's wait and see. Daddy, I don't want to drink milk. While Lily and I were engaged in a battle of wits. In livestream room number 1. Molly, in an almost pleading tone, spoke to her father. Drinking it before bed, drinking it upon waking. She really felt like throwing up at the sight of milk. No, you must finish the milk. Molly, do you know how many children wish they had milk to drink but don't? How can you be so picky? Kevin immediately rejected Molly's plea and personally handed the milk to her. Molly blinked a few times, wanting to say something, but ultimately obediently took the glass of milk from her father. She really wasn't being picky. Nor was she saying she never wanted to drink milk again. She had just been drinking too much for too long, and she just wanted a break today. Under Kevin's expectant and gentle gaze, Molly still picked up the glass and drank. It's just that. After a few sips, Molly's stomach churned. A second later, the milk she had just drunk was spewed out by Molly, and the glass of milk in her hand slipped and shattered on the floor. The sudden change not only scared Molly, but also startled all the viewers in the livestream room. Whoa! Did she choke? Is she okay? Kevin was also frightened and hurriedly stood up to go to Molly. He didn't mean to blame Molly, his face always wore a gentle and kind smile. But Molly looked as if she had committed a terrible crime, tears even welling up in her eyes. Daddy! I'm sorry. I really can't drink anymore. She was very guilty, as if blaming herself. Because her father had emphasized more than once. All food is hard-earned and cannot be wasted. And all the delicious food at home was also saved for her by her parents, who wouldn't eat or drink it themselves. Now she had spilled the milk. She felt sorry for the farmers, and even more sorry for her parents who had given her all the best things. It's okay, we just need to speed things up a bit. Time was tight, so Kevin didn't reason with Molly at this moment. He took Molly to change into another set of clothes, then hurriedly finished his meal and drove Molly to preschool. Once in the car, Kevin then began to gently persuade her. Naturally. The words spoken were things Molly had heard countless times. Things like treasuring food. Things like parents working hard, so she must cherish everything she has, and so on. Molly vaguely understood. But every time Kevin asked, she knew to nod in agreement. The scenery along the road was beautiful. The live broadcast also showed a beautiful picture of a devoted father teaching his daughter, and the daughter listening attentively. In the comments, there was also a chorus of praise. Some praised Kevin for being such a good father. Some praised Molly for being obedient and understanding. However, in the studio, Dr. Chloe Evans, the youngest of the 3 parenting experts, couldn't help but frown. It seems like this little Molly hasn't smiled once since she appeared, has she? She mumbled to herself, not expecting to say it out loud, and was heard by Dr. Reed not far away. What does Dr. Evans mean by that? Just moments ago, due to her criticism of me, she had been infuriated by the comments. Now that someone was questioning the dad she valued most, Dr. Reed immediately found an outlet for her anger. Nothing, I just said Molly doesn't seem to have smiled once since she appeared. Being overheard was no big deal. Dr. Evans generously raised her voice. So what if she hasn't smiled? The baby in livestream room number 3 not only hasn't smiled but has also cried. Dr. Reed spoke with a sarcastic tone. Dr. Evans was neither arrogant nor servile. No, I don't think Dr. Reed understands my meaning. I mean, Molly lacks the liveliness, the characteristic playfulness of a child. When she said this, many people in the on-site observation panel and in the comments also chimed in. That's right, I don't know why, but I feel a bit constrained watching Molly. Right, Lily did cry, and we didn't see Lily smile either, but the atmosphere is different. Let me offer a personal opinion. Frankly, from Molly's dad, I only see commands. He only cares about what he wants Molly to do, and completely disregards what Molly wants to do. His voice is gentle, but undeniably authoritative. And also, I could tell Molly really didn't want to drink that glass of milk. He still insisted on making her drink it. What's wrong with drinking one less glass of milk? The comments on the screen, which initially praised Kevin unanimously, directly evolved to the current situation where, after Dr. Evans raised the issue, many different opinions appeared. Dr. Reed's expression changed. She attacked my unreliable parenting methods. It was one thing for people to object. Kevin's parenting methods, in her view, were almost perfect. Yet, people still opposed her. What liveliness or lack thereof. I only see Kevin's dedication and Molly's obedience and good behavior. Making a nutritious breakfast for his child early in the morning, meticulously dressing her, brushing her teeth, and washing her face. Then supervising her drinking milk, and after the milk was spilled, immediately showing concern for his child, and finally, gently instructing her in the car. From beginning to end, Kevin always smiled at his daughter. No scolding, only patience. He taught his child to cherish food, is that wrong? He taught his child that parents work hard, is that wrong? Taking a step back a million times. Even if the child is unhappy now, under pressure, I feel it's better than being unhappy and under pressure after growing up and entering society. Dr. Reed was genuinely angry. She didn't know what was wrong with people nowadays. She heard that young people were lying flat, unwilling to strive. Could it be that now, even parenting was about lying flat, disregarding the future of the next generation? Simply tragic. This wasn't a debate, and no one was intentionally trying to argue with Dr. Reed. But undoubtedly, her emotions were too agitated. So much so that host Nikki, fearing the situation would get out of control, hurriedly interjected to mediate. Dr. Reed, we know you value parenting, education, and the countless future flowers of the nation, but it's still the same saying, let's just watch and see. Whose parenting method is better, we can clearly see from the audience's votes. Next, let's take a look. Halfway through her sentence, Nikki froze. Because, when she looked up, she happened to see dad number 3, Ethan Vance, who originally had the lowest support rate, now surpassing Kevin Zhang, who was in the lead. You have to know, my initial vote count wasn't even a fraction of Kevin Zhang's. How could it suddenly surge like this? Even with her high professional composure, Nikki was still a bit flustered. She waved her hand, and a staff member quickly approached her. After a few whispered words, a hint of surprise couldn't help but appear in Nikki's eyes. The back-end data was all normal. The votes were real and valid. My vote count did increase slowly at first, but it wasn't exactly explosive. The strange thing was, every time Dr. Reed finished attacking me, my support rate would skyrocket. Even when Dr. Reed just praised Kevin Zhang extensively, my support rate also surged. Nikki was speechless. It seemed this generation of netizens had truly mastered the art of taking expert opinions the opposite way. It was also at this moment, Dr. Reed and everyone else in the studio saw that my support votes had exceeded 90,000. Officially surpassing Kevin Zhang, becoming the dad with the highest current support rate. Especially Dr. Reed, upon seeing this, couldn't help but take off her glasses and rub her eyes. Confirming that I was indeed the one with the highest support rate, Dr. Reed slammed the table and stood up. On what grounds? On what grounds is he number one? That kind of parenting is simply a joke. He should be the bad example. The studio became awkward due to Dr. Reed's outburst. In the end, it was host Nikki who shouldered everything. Ha! Our Dr. Reed is so adorable. But the reason Dr. Reed is so agitated, I know it's not because she has any issue with any of our guests. She just wants everyone to find the right parenting method, or perhaps a better one, that's all. But there's also another saying. It's called, if it exists, there's a reason for it. Our data is real and reliable. As for who everyone likes more, all I can say is, to each their own. Alright, all these different opinions are also to find a more suitable parenting method for oneself. Next, let's continue to pay attention to the actual situation of the three families. Still not offending anyone. Nikki successfully redirected everyone's attention back to the live screen. 80's dad Kevin Zhang was undoubtedly the earliest to successfully get his daughter to preschool. Arriving early, the preschool had just opened when they arrived, and the teachers hadn't even come yet. Kevin Zhang took Molly into the classroom. Then he took out a book of 300 Tang poems and read it with Molly. The small figure sat upright. The tender voice echoed in the early morning classroom. Together with the sunlight outside the window, it formed a beautiful scroll painting. Anyone who saw it could hardly avoid being moved in their hearts. It's just that. The youngest parenting expert on site, Dr. Chloe Evans, frowned. Molly is only 5 years old. Can she really understand the meaning in ancient poems? If she doesn't understand, then why read them? This time, Dr. Evans's question was thought silently to herself. Because she knew, once Dr. Reed heard it, it would inevitably be another long-winded, exaggerated speech. Dr. Evans wasn't afraid of not being able to out-argue Dr. Reed. She was genuinely afraid that the old lady's emotions would get too agitated, and she might faint from not being able to catch her breath. Unlike the situation with Kevin Zhang and his daughter. 90's dad Brandon Chen, who had overslept earlier, had just left home. But not long after starting the car, his daughter shouted loudly, "Daddy! I forgot my backpack." So, Brandon Chen could only turn the car around. It seemed he really didn't want his daughter to be late for school. Little Haley was also so anxious her head was covered in sweat, her short legs running back home to get her backpack as if flying. This father-daughter pair, though looking a bit comical. But who in real life hasn't been late before? School, work, dates, and so on. Therefore, watching others' embarrassing late moments, quite a few people still enjoyed it. Finally, it was my turn. I didn't have a car. My mode of transportation was an ordinary U-like electric scooter. After putting helmets on with Lily, I directly rode her to a breakfast stall. Lily devoured a bowl of dumplings and 2 golden brown fried dough sticks. Well fed and satisfied. All the previous unhappiness of this little foodie was thrown to the back of her mind. In the end, I managed to get Lily to school on time. Watching Lily being led into the school gate by her teacher, I suddenly felt a sense of relief. "Bye-bye, daughter." I waved at Lily, and Lily smiled back. "Bye-bye, Daddy." But after saying bye-bye, Lily still stood in place. "Oh right, Daddy, remember to pick me up on time after school. Don't forget me again." Sigh. This little girl really worried too much. I made an okay gesture to show I understood, and Lily then turned around to go to her classroom. It's just that. Just as she had one foot in the classroom, my voice sounded behind her. "Daughter, if you can learn, learn. If you can't, eat more. Daddy paid for your meals." Lily. Teacher. The old security guard at the preschool gate took off his glasses and looked at me. All viewers in the live stream room. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. This Gen Z dad is too funny. Listen to him, how confidently he says it. He paid for the meals, so his daughter can eat to her heart's content. Ha, the teacher must be shocked for 100 years. Other families tell their kids to study hard, but he's afraid his daughter won't dare to eat. It's over. Just that one sentence is enough for the experts to criticize this Gen Z dad for a lifetime. Ha, it still has to be Gen Z. The teacher is completely stunned. He's really making me cry. He not only doesn't put pressure on himself but also doesn't put any pressure on his child. I'm jealous of Lily's childhood, day 1. Ding. Host's chill parenting has triggered emotional reactions from surroundings, gaining 13252 emotion points. Total emotion points, 19365. I couldn't see the comments now. But the system's prompt in my head was very clear. It had only been 40 minutes since the live stream started. I had already gained nearly 20,000 emotion points. According to the system's rules, the lowest tier prize draw required 120,000 emotion points. So I was still very satisfied with my emotion point accumulation speed. My intention to win the championship and collaborate long-term with this program also became firmer. This gold mine, I have to keep digging. I had firmed up my belief and had my goal. But in the studio on the other side, Dr. Reed's blood pressure, which had just stabilized, skyrocketed again. She once again picked up the microphone, her voice trembling. Look, with that kind of parenting, why are you all voting for him? Education is the root of a person, the foundation of a nation. Education, on a small scale, can help people achieve a better quality of life, a brighter future. On a larger scale, it can make a nation, a country, richer and stronger. And he's great. Not only does he not value his child's education, but he even encourages his child to indulge in immediate gratification and neglect education. This kind of parenting, on a small scale, is ruining the child's future. On a larger scale, it's ruining the future of our entire dragon country. Everyone, wake up. Parenting is not a joke. Absolutely do not learn from Ethan Vance's parenting methods. He is a bad example. Speaking to an agitated point. Dr. Reed's heartbeat and breathing became somewhat rapid. But this time, before any dissenting opinions appeared in the comments, Dr. Chloe Evans stood up. She really couldn't stand it anymore. I don't entirely agree with Dr. Reed's statement. Education is indeed important, but this time the 3 children being observed are only 5 years old, in preschool. Dr. Reed, you wouldn't really think that much knowledge can be learned in preschool, would you? I believe that for preschool-aged children, eating well and playing happily are more important than studying. Just like family number 1, Molly's dad having Molly read 300 Tang poems. Such a young child doesn't even know many characters, let alone understand the meaning in the poems. So if she doesn't understand what those ancient poems are saying, may I ask, what is the meaning of her reading and memorizing them? Is it just so others can praise her for knowing many things? Or is it that Molly fundamentally doesn't want that kind of praise, but her father does? I believe that education is about doing appropriate things at the corresponding age. Preschool children should be allowed to play. They should be allowed to eat. Dr. Evans's words were naturally heard by all viewers of the 3 live streams. In an instant, the number of comments directly increased several-fold. What? I agree with Dr. Reed. No matter when, education. It can never be ignored. I also support Dr. Reed. Enduring hardship now is so that you don't have to suffer later. That's right. Moreover, the rise and fall of a nation is everyone's responsibility. If everyone adopts chill parenting, the country will face a talent shortage and decline. I'm not that lofty, but I know, if you don't plan for the future, you'll face imminent trouble. If you only know how to enjoy immediate pleasures, then the outcome will surely be tragic. Nonsense. Don't just throw labels around. Dr. Evans isn't saying education isn't important, just that different parenting methods should be used at different ages. Watching this makes me want to curse. Our generation had to compete since childhood, and aren't we still struggling now? Do we really want our children to have no childhood either? Whatever you guys say, I support Gen Z dad Ethan Vance. Voting is all that matters. Right. My child can be average, can be ordinary. I'm very ordinary, and I accept my child being ordinary. Don't just link everything to the nation. My child can't bear such a heavy responsibility. We just don't want to live too tiredly. It's not that we don't love our country. A reminder to Dr. Reed, stop talking about big and small issues all the time. That's not talking, that's blowing hot air. If you want to talk realistically. At this point. My statement, if you can learn, learn. If you can't, eat. completely ignited the confrontation between two different viewpoints. Naturally, some quick-witted people had already edited the live footage and comments, posting videos online. And once posted, the views and attention reached unprecedented heights. This undoubtedly increased the fame of the program Dad Bods and Dad Squads, attracting even more viewers. From the initial broadcast with over 200,000 online viewers, it instantly soared to the current 600,000 online viewers. Among them, the number of viewers in my sub-livestream room number 3 reached a staggering figure of over 300,000, nearly 400,000. Slightly more than the combined total viewers of Kevin Zhang's room number 1 and Brandon Chen's room number 2. Regarding Dr. Evans's statement, Dr. Reed would naturally not back down. The two went back and forth, and the studio was actually more lively than a debate competition. Just as they were arguing incessantly, and the incident continued to ferment online, I had already returned home, because the focus of the program was on parenting methods. So the main filming targets were still the three dads. However, I had just ridden the U-like electric scooter back home, when a prompt sounded in my head. Ding! Host's chill parenting has caused a large-scale emotional reaction, gaining 109,000 emotion points. Total emotion points, 128,000. Warm reminder, host currently has enough emotion points to complete one low-tier prize draw. Proceed with draw? So, that's enough for one low-tier prize draw? It seems how to raise children is indeed a matter of great concern to many. System, proceed with the draw. Entering the room, I directly plopped down on the sofa. Ding! Congratulations to host for drawing God-tier street food skill, roasted sweet potatoes. From now on, the aroma of sweet potatoes fears no deep alley. Not bad. This counts as having a trade. At least I'm my own boss, better than being looked down upon while working for others. I, on the other hand, didn't care much about the skill I drew. After all, I had lived 2 lifetimes. My perspective now could be said to have completely broadened. Now for me. As long as one earns money through their own abilities, legally and ethically, it deserves respect. Whether it's a leader, a technician, a porter, or a construction worker, no one is inherently superior. With the little one sent to school, the house was indeed quieter than ever. I yawned, my eyelids feeling a bit heavy. Woken up too early by Lily this morning, I was a bit sleepy. I conveniently lay down on the sofa. I inadvertently saw the cameraman staring at me. How about, we nap together? I generously lifted a corner of the blanket covering me. The cameraman hurriedly waved his hands. No, I'm working. You've got to be kidding. Never mind that the station leaders were watching live. Just my live stream room alone currently had 400,000 viewers. If he really put down the camera and went to sleep, losing his job would be a small matter. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to find any job afterward. All right then. I smiled, paid no mind, and directly tilted my head and fell asleep. Just a minute or two later, the sound of even breathing came from the live stream room. I was fast asleep. The cameraman could only look on with admiration. He, on the other hand, woke up earlier than the birds and slept later than the dogs every day. Afraid that if he didn't try hard enough, he would be eliminated by society. Now looking at me. Such a young man, seemingly possessing endless courage, completely fearless of anything. Similarly, in the comments section of the live stream room, voices of admiration also sounded. No way, after sending the kid to school, shouldn't you hurry to work? Why are you taking a nap to recharge? Who says otherwise? The 90s dad next door is already out delivering food, and that 80s dad Kevin Zhang didn't even go home. He went straight to the company after dropping off his kid. Could it be that this Gen Z dad is actually a hidden rich second generation, not short of money? Give me a break, you've read too many novels. If he really had money, who would let their child suffer? He even takes his kid to school on a U-like electric scooter, letting the kid lie flat at school, while he lies flat at home. I hereby dub this the lying flat father-daughter duo. If you don't work, what do you eat? If you don't work, What do you drink? I work so hard to earn money, and it's still not enough. In the studio, the debate was still ongoing. Even the professional host Nikki was finding it a bit difficult to mediate. But after Nikki sought instructions from the director, the director's response was to let things take their natural course. He had produced many reality shows, but a show with such topicality and controversy, this was a first. The director even felt, perhaps this program would trigger a major revolution in parenting methods. And that person named Ethan Vance could very well be the fuse. Also, while I was taking a nap to recharge, a topic about whether the Gen Z dad's chill parenting was okay had climbed to the top of the trending searches. Once this topic appeared, not only did parents raising children pay attention, but even teachers, leaders, various working professionals, and so on, in different industries, were stirred into a frenzy. Very quickly, the debate spread online, exploded, and showed signs of escalating. It's just that, as the instigator, I was currently smiling in my dreams. Traffic is a good thing. After the topic Ethan Vance's chill parenting hit the trending searches, many experts, scholars, internet celebrities, and so on, keenly smelled the scent of traffic and money. In an instant, all sorts of analytical videos, critical videos, and praiseworthy videos appeared one after another online. The name Ethan Vance also appeared in more people's sites. This directly led to the number of online viewers in my live stream room continuously skyrocketing. Time flew by, and it was afternoon, time for the kids to get out of school. My day, after sending my daughter to school, could be said to consist of eating and sleeping. In between, I also knew that my live stream room currently had up to 700,000 viewers. But I still did things my own way, completely ignoring the questioning voices in the comments, until it was time for school to end. I then unhurriedly rode my U-like electric scooter to Lily's preschool. When I arrived, the preschool gate was already packed with people. A quick glance. All sorts of luxury cars were lined up. Parents were all gathered around the preschool gate, eagerly waiting for their children to appear. As for me, I parked my U-like electric scooter not far from the school gate and just sat on it, scrolling through my phone. Aren't you going to wait at the school gate? The cameraman, provided it didn't interfere with the subject's parenting life, could exchange a word or two. So after seeing the crowd of parents at the preschool gate, the cameraman voiced his confusion. What's the rush? I replied indifferently, still playing on my phone. But, don't you want your child to see you as soon as she comes out of school? That way, she'll feel you value her a lot. The cameraman gave his reason. His question and reason were also what all the viewers in my live stream room were thinking at this moment. So after the cameraman finished speaking, all the viewers were waiting for my answer. I'm not dying anytime soon. Being a little late doesn't mean it's our last meeting. What's the big deal if she sees me a bit earlier or later? And besides, buddy, how do you know your kid wants to see you first after school? Don't overestimate your place in your child's heart. And let's be real, even if she did want to see me first, so what if she doesn't? Sad? Upset? Ignores me? Cries? If she's that fragile, like glass, she might as well stay at home as a protected animal. I didn't look up while speaking, my eyes still fixed on my phone screen. However, my words left the cameraman speechless. Not just the cameraman, the viewers in the live stream room were also deeply affected. Why do these words sound so heartbreaking? I always thought my child would miss me as much as I miss them. It's not like it's the last time, why the rush? I'm dying of laughter. This Gen Z dad is too funny. Why do I feel like he's right? This trivial matter isn't worth wasting energy on. That's right, if the little girl is so sensitive about such a small thing, she'll be hard to raise. Right, you think so, but that's just what you think. Maybe kids don't think that much. The comments were once again in an uproar. At this time, the preschool gate had opened. The teacher was coordinating on site. Only after the children and parents had identified each other were the children allowed to leave. As for me, I waited until the crowd at the school gate had thinned by more than half before putting away my phone and walking over As if by telepathy, on the live screen, Lily also slowly stood up from under the shade of a tree in the schoolyard. Lily's dad. Before Lily could speak, Lily's teacher called out to me at this moment. Is something wrong? I was taken aback. Oh, the school wants to organize an activity tomorrow called I'm a Little Shopkeeper. The content of the activity is for parents to set up a small stall with their children, letting the children be the shopkeepers. This activity aims to train the children's communication skills, financial management abilities, and emotional intelligence in handling situations. I hope you can spare some time to participate with your child. The teacher smiled and handed me a little shopkeeper invitation letter. I glanced over it roughly. This little shopkeeper activity turned out to be mandated by higher-ups. All preschools in the city would organize such an activity tomorrow. At that time, there would also be television reporters randomly selecting schools for interviews, and it might even be featured in the citywide early childhood education column. Oh, got it. I didn't say much. I casually folded the invitation letter and stuffed it into my pocket. At this moment, Lily had also reached the school gate. But one glance told me Lily's face was a bit downcast. The teacher standing next to Lily at this time also looked a bit unnatural, yet forced a smile at me. Lily's dad, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you. It's that in the afternoon, Lily and another child had a little disagreement, but through the teacher's mediation, they have forgiven each other and made up. Hearing this, my expression immediately darkened. I ignored the teacher's words and directly turned around to take Lily's small hand. Did you fight? I asked. Lily nodded. Win or lose? Are you hurt? I asked again. The corners of Lily's mouth finally pouted, and a tear glistened in her eyes. I didn't hit anyone. It was Kevin Jr. who wanted to snatch my toy. I didn't let him, so he pushed me. But I didn't cry. Clearly. The little girl felt very wronged. Seeing my daughter like this, my heart immediately ached. I stood up straight. The face that usually wore a faint smile also became extremely serious. Staring into the teacher's eyes, I questioned in a low voice. This is what you call Lily and another child having a disagreement? And it's been well resolved? The teacher trembled a little under my gaze but quickly composed herself. In preschool, she had handled this kind of thing many times. Lily's dad, please don't get agitated. Conflicts between children are inevitable. What we need to do is to guide their emotions correctly and teach them how to handle conflicts properly. This isn't handling it, this is being a pushover. I didn't wait for the teacher to finish, directly interrupting her. Looking back at Lily, I continued to ask. Lily, tell Daddy how the teacher handled it. Don't be afraid, just tell the truth. Daddy's here. I hugged Lily, my tone firm. But before Lily could speak, the teacher was already a little unhappy. Lily's dad, there's no need for you to do this. It was originally just a small matter between children, and besides, they've already forgiven each other. Why do you have to make a big deal out of it? As a parent, can't you set a better example for your child? Following the teacher's questioning, some people in the live stream room who already dislike me also chimed in with comments. That's right, a little disagreement between children, is it necessary to make such a fuss? When children have conflicts, parents should guide them reasonably, try to turn big issues into small ones, and small ones into nothing, not blow things out of proportion like this. Right, children are in the stage of personality formation. At this time, parents should be even calmer and not negatively influence their children. Our great nation is a land of etiquette. Children should learn to yield and be modest from a young age, so that they can be more patient, resilient, and tenacious when they grow up. However, compared to these questioning and critical comments, there was also a significant portion of comments supporting me at this time. Seriously, even when your child is bullied, parents should teach them to yield? What kind of logic is that? Right. Lily just said she was the one being bullied, and moreover, I seriously suspect the teacher's handling was not good at all. I support Ethan. My vote today, I'm definitely giving it to him. When Ethan just said Daddy's here, I saw the light in Lily's eyes. Naturally. besides criticizing me and supporting me. There was another type of opinion in the comment section. Holy crap! Ethan is too awesome. When I talk to my child's teacher, I always have to choose my words carefully, afraid of offending her. But him, he doesn't hold back at all. Haha, me too. I'm afraid of offending the teacher, and then she'll treat my child badly. Same here, same here. My wife is the most afraid of the teacher. Not only does she unconditionally agree to and support all the teacher's requests, but she also always looks for opportunities to flatter the teacher. Oh right. My wife also frequently posts things like, the teacher works so hard, or without the teacher's diligent efforts, my child wouldn't have their current achievements. I feel embarrassed just watching. Compared to you guys, my wife is much better. She usually waits for others to praise the teacher and then just copies and pastes in line. +1. Plus 10,086. In the studio. The debate between Dr. Reed and Dr. Evans had stopped for a while. Because my livestream room number 3 was mostly me eating or sleeping during the day, the old lady didn't pay much attention to me. Now, my unyielding attitude was making her blood pressure unstable again. This Ethan Vance, doesn't he know what it means to take a step back and find a broader sky, to endure a little and let the storm pass? Our nation's culture has been passed down for thousands of years, and the words modesty and yielding have also been passed down for thousands of years. When children have conflicts, it's such a good opportunity for self-improvement. Besides, the teacher already said, the children have forgiven each other. What does he want to do? Rekindle the conflict? This attitude, this behavior, this style of handling things, how is it any different from uncultured street thugs? A bad example. He's not just a bad example for children, but also a bad example for us adults. Once again strongly condemning me, Dr. Reed still showed no mercy. It's just that this time, Dr. Evans, sitting not far from her, seemed determined to confront her. As soon as Dr. Reed finished speaking, Dr. Evans stood up. Dr. Reed, I think you're exaggerating. He just wants to protect his child. He hasn't done or said anything excessive. May I ask, how did he become a thug in your words? On the contrary, I think Ethan Vance's approach is very correct. When a child is treated unfairly and is already in a bad mood, as parents, we should immediately stand by their side. After giving the child a full sense of security, then seriously investigate the cause and effect of the matter. Then, based on different situations, tell the child how to resolve it. After the recent debate with Dr. Reed, Dr. Evans had completely let go at this moment. Senior or not, if you're wrong, I'll refute you. The program team invited me here to express my true views. You? Dr. Reed was clearly choked up. But just as she was about to speak, Lily's voice came from my livestream room number 3. The little girl looked up at her teacher, then at her doting father. Finally, she voiced her grievances. Kevin Jr. snatched my toy. I didn't let him, so he pushed me. I fell and argued with him. Then the teacher came. The teacher said little friends should help each other, yield to each other, so she told me to give the toy to Kevin Jr. Then, the teacher told us to shake hands and make up. But Kevin Jr. didn't apologize to me. Lily's expressive ability was impeccable. In a few sentences, she clearly stated the truth of the matter. I picked Lily up with one arm, then once again looked directly at the teacher. Ms. Wilson, this is what you call well handled? Ms. Wilson was at a loss for words, finally speaking with a lack of confidence. That Kevin Jr. is a boy, and he's quite stubborn. If you're not careful, he might cry and throw a tantrum. And Lily's personality isn't that strong. I was also afraid that Kevin Jr. might target Lily later, so you let Lily suffer, get hit, and even have to give up her toy? I once again interrupted Ms. Wilson, my voice clearly tinged with anger. My child is gentle, so she deserves to be bullied? Their child has a bad temper, so they have to be coddled? What kind of goddamn logic is that? I almost cursed. The successive questions left Ms. Wilson somewhat speechless. She indeed hadn't handled this matter with absolute fairness. Even, a bit perfunctorily. But this kind of thing had happened many times before. Even if parents were a little dissatisfied with the teacher's handling, no one had ever directly confronted her like I did. Seeing Ms. Wilson silent, I carried Lily into the preschool. Ms. Wilson, if you can't give my child justice, then I demand to see the classroom surveillance footage. I will take the surveillance footage to find the principal, to find that hooey kid and his parents. Even, I will go to the dedicated education department, and I don't rule out calling the police. I spoke very seriously. Ms. Wilson was also a bit flustered then. She looked at me and even forced a placating smile. Lily's dad, this small matter, it doesn't have to go that far. Why doesn't it have to go that far? To you, it's a small matter, but to me, my daughter is my world. My daughter's matters are as big as the sky. I had no intention of faking it. When I was young, I was a gentle child and was often bullied by some mischievous classmates. And my parents always said things like, "It takes two to tango." Why don't others bully others, but they bully you? Aren't you partly to blame? Even sometimes when the teacher made a fair judgment and approached both sets of parents, my parents would just say a few useless polite words to the other parents. Things like, "No need to apologize, they're all children, our child also did something wrong," and so on. If I wanted to say something, I would be silenced by my parents' glare and then forced to make peace with my bully. After this happened a few times, even if I felt wronged, I wouldn't tell my parents. Therefore, seeing Lily's pitiful, wronged expression just now, I could get so agitated. After reprimanding Ms. Wilson, I once again looked at Lily. "Lily, just remember, no matter what happens in the future, Daddy will always have your back. We don't cause trouble, but we absolutely must not be afraid of trouble. We don't bully anyone, but others better not think of bullying us, understand?" "Understood," Lily replied very decisively. The wronged expression on her small face also disappeared. In her big, round eyes, my figure seemed to be shining. "All right, then I promise to give Lily and you a satisfactory resolution. Let's not escalate this matter, okay? Lily, I apologize to you first, I'm truly sorry. Then I'll have Kevin Jr. apologize to you tomorrow, okay?" Finally, Ms. Wilson still had to yield. She could see this Lily's dad wasn't just talking. Besides, what was with that guy carrying the camera? "Okay, then let's wait until tomorrow. Have Kevin Jr. come and apologize to our Lily, and promise not to bully our Lily anymore." I wasn't being stubborn either. Ultimately, actually, what I wanted to express most was my attitude towards this matter. It was to let Lily know my attitude. Daddy will always have your back. Goodbye, Ms. Wilson. Finally. As I led Lily away, Lily turned back and smiled sweetly at Ms. Wilson. Under the setting sun, the two figures, one large and one small, wearing helmets, rode the U-like electric scooter away against the light. And in the live stream room, another fierce comment battle erupted. Moreover, the number of online viewers in my live stream room had exceeded 1 million. Wow, am I the only one who thinks Ethan is super cool, super manly? No doubt, in Lily's eyes, her dad was incredibly reliable just now. My daughter, I can trick her, I can tease her until she cries, but I will absolutely not let others bully her even a little bit. Everyone, I don't know why, but I feel so vindicated. This fearless attitude, very Gen Z. Who said Gen Z parenting is unreliable? Step forward. I get it. Ethan's real purpose isn't to demand justice or an apology. He wants to tell his daughter, no matter what grievances you suffer, no matter what happens, Daddy will always have your back. That's right, by doing this, in the future, no matter what happens to the child, they will be willing to share with their parents and willing to listen to their parents' opinions. Ethan's parenting is unreliable? I think he's playing the long game. Person above, if you have nothing better to do, take some birth control pills, My education level is low, and I don't know rhymes, but I want to say, Ethan is freaking cool. The praiseworthy comments finally overwhelmed the criticisms. Even in the studio, Dr. Evans looked up, glancing at Dr. Reed with her nose and eyes. Humph. Go and advise those strong-willed children of yours to take a step back and see the bigger picture. Don't tarnish the reputation of obedient and understanding children. Daddy. MHM? Thank you, Daddy, mwahaha. Under the setting sun. Lily, having just arrived downstairs, hurriedly planted a kiss on my cheek. I chuckled, ruffling Lily's hair several times with my hand. No need to be polite. Just don't pull my oxygen tube out in the future. I will too. Ha ha ha. Lily swatted my hand away with one hand. Turned and ran into the corridor. You dare. See if Daddy doesn't spank your bottom. Don't run. I followed her into the corridor, carrying Lily's small backpack. The laughter of the father and daughter echoed throughout the corridor. That laughter also echoed in my livestream room. Unlike the morning scene where both father and daughter wailed, making people not know whether to laugh or cry. This scene, even the 6 feet 2 inches, 220-pound cameraman couldn't help but smile kindly upon seeing it. As for those in the livestream room, most of them had their hearts melted by this scene. I'm crying. The way they interact is truly without any distance. Lily is so adorable. 1 second she's kissing her dad, the next she's threatening to pull his oxygen tube. See? If Ethan had completely accepted the teacher's handling, Lily would absolutely still be sad and unhappy now. That's right. The little girl's expression was all over her face then. After her dad stood up for her, she immediately cheered up. In Lily's heart, her dad is definitely the mountain behind her. If the sky falls, the mountain will support it. What should I do? I really want a daughter, but I already have 2 sons. If the third one is still a son, I'll never be able to hold my head high in this lifetime. Urgent. Urgent. May I ask how to snatch someone else's custody? Snatch custody? Ethan is a single dad. Just become Lily's stepmom, isn't that settled? Ha ha. Ding. Host's chill parenting has triggered emotional reactions from surroundings, gaining 189,000 emotion points. Total emotion points, 197,000. Warm reminder, one high-tier prize draw consumes 1,200,000 emotion points. On my end. A prompt sounded in my head again. High-tier prize draw? A slight doubt in my heart. Information related to the system's prize draw immediately appeared in my mind. Low-tier prize draw includes but not limited to a small amount of cash, ordinary vehicles, various low-tier survival skills, money-making skills, competitive skills, minor physical enhancements, etc. High-tier prize draw includes but not limited to significant cash, luxury cars worth $100,000 plus, various high-tier survival skills, money-making skills, professional competitive skills, major physical enhancements, etc. God-tier prize draw requires at least 10 high-tier prize draws to unlock. I can even draw cash and luxury cars. This system is still very practical. Regarding the various rewards, I was still very satisfied. Just like I spent 120,000 emotion points to draw the God-tier street food skill. Although it belonged to low-tier survival money-making skills. But if used well and developed to its extreme, supporting a family and living a slightly more comfortable life would definitely be very easy. Oh right, setting up a stall? Thinking of the skill I just drew. I took out the little shopkeeper invitation letter Ms. Wilson had given me. Sigh. In my past life, I worked so hard studying and striving. When I was young, I lived up to my parents' expectations. When I grew up, I lived up to my teachers' expectations. Finally, when I entered society, I lived up to my boss's expectations. In the end, it seems I didn't even get much aid. Looking back on my whole life, there's nothing worth reminiscing about. Now, I've been reborn, and I don't intend to force my child to become a dragon or a phoenix. If she doesn't get into college, then she can roast sweet potatoes. Starting to roast sweet potatoes from preschool, directly skipping decades of detours. Looking at Lily dancing in front of me, my brain operated at high speed. That's good. The more I thought about it, the more feasible it seemed. I decided to ask Lily's opinion when I got home. Studying is still necessary. But roasting sweet potatoes doesn't require the Pythagorean theorem. If Lily doesn't get into college, roasting sweet potatoes is still a viable trade. It's still the same saying. As long as one earns clean money through their own abilities. There's nothing shameful about it. Isn't it about training communication skills, financial management skills, and what EQ and all that? Then let's just add practical skills to the mix. Chill parenting? While you guys are forcing your kids to compete in all sorts of ways, my kid already has a backup plan, okay? My idea wasn't bad. But I wasn't the type of autocratic parent either. As for what Lily ultimately wanted to sell at her stall, I would only offer suggestions, not force or interfere. Back home, I started preparing dinner. Lily had no homework. She came home and hugged her big doll, watching her favorite cartoon. While my daughter and I were eating, the cameraman was also eating his boxed meal off camera. However, while eating, the cameraman still couldn't help but ask Lily, who was eating heartily, a question. Lily, after preschool ends, don't you want to see your dad pick you up first? As soon as this question was asked, someone in the livestream room immediately spat out their food laughing. Ha ha ha. The cameraman is too cute, he still hasn't forgotten about this. Ha, what is he trying to prove? Or has he always thought so, and thinks his child also thinks so? Looking forward to Lily's answer. I also want to know about this issue. After all, I have to squeeze to the front every time I pick up my child. It's so tiring. Under the warm lamplight, Lily blinked, seemingly not understanding what was so special about this question. Her small spoon scooped another mouthful of rice into her mouth, chewed, and swallowed. Why would I want to see Daddy first after school? It's not like Daddy's about to die, and I have to rush to see him for the last time. What can you do by getting home a few minutes earlier? It was both a rhetorical question and an answer. Lily's words instantly made the cameraman and all the viewers in the livestream room not know whether to laugh or cry. No wonder they're father and daughter. They talk exactly the same, ha ha ha. Lily, what's the rush? Is time running out or something? What's this called? This is called like father, like daughter. Lily's little head, her train of thought is a bit special. Doesn't anyone wonder what Ethan and Lily will sell at their stall tomorrow? What else can they sell? It's just candy, old toys, small items, comic books, and so on. It's really just adults playing house with children. Ha, you wouldn't really think someone would actually take their child to set up a real business stall, would you? While Lily and I were eating. On the other side, 80's dad Kevin Zhang had just rushed home from the company. Actually, the company wasn't very busy. It's just that the boss was still in the company at that time. So even though it was time to get off work, no one in the entire company intended to leave on time. On the contrary, with almost no work left to do, everyone still deliberately pretended to be busy. Each person held documents and walked back and forth between departments, making inquiries. It looked busy, but in reality, they were all talking about trivial matters in life. That SOB boss, why isn't he gone yet? My date is about to be late. Oh. I heard there's a famous internet celebrity pancake seller at the food street, with an amazing figure. Should we go check her out later? Are you free this weekend? My husband is out of town. I wanted to ask you to help fix the water pipe at my place. Kevin Zhang's eyes also occasionally glanced at the boss's office. Even though he was anxious to pick up his daughter. But since his colleagues hadn't left, he couldn't leave either. In the end, Kevin Zhang could only ask his wife to pick up their daughter. But since this program was called Dad Bods and Dad Squads, Kevin Zhang only had his wife pick up their daughter and bring her home. After settling his daughter's affairs, Kevin Zhang glanced at the boss's office again. Standing up, he picked up the mopping tools placed in the corner. First sweeping, then mopping, very meticulously. And just in time. When the boss came out, he had just mopped to the boss's office door. Well, Kevin, mopping again? If everyone were like you, our company wouldn't need to hire cleaning staff, huh? The boss smiled. Kevin Zhang also smiled and said, "Sigh, just a small thing within my ability. After finishing my main work, I just do a TNT. After finishing my main work, I just do it on the side." Kevin Zhang's meaning was very clear. This made the boss smile even more brightly. So, after the boss left, other employees left one after another. Kevin Zhang, however, cleaned up the company once more before going home. As soon as he got home, he saw Molly sitting alone on the sofa watching TV. Molly, Daddy's home. Quick, turn off the TV. It's all unnutritious cartoons. Watching TV also hurts your eyes. Without waiting for Molly to say a single word of no, Kevin Zhang had already turned off the TV. He completely failed to notice. The smile on Molly's face also completely disappeared along with the turned-off TV. What did you learn at preschool today? Tell Daddy. After turning off the TV, Kevin Zhang changed his clothes, put on an apron, and went into the kitchen. Molly, looking dejected, followed behind Kevin Zhang, recounting what she had learned at preschool that day. As for Kevin Zhang, he would occasionally pick up on some small details to lecture Molly at length. Not long after, the food was served on the table, still nutritionally rich. For the father and daughter, Kevin Zhang made 3 meat dishes and 1 soup. Daddy, this is the invitation letter from the school. Tomorrow, the teacher asked parents to set up stalls with us. Molly chewed her rice in small bites, took out a piece of paper, and handed it to Kevin Zhang. Setting up a stall? Let Daddy see. Kevin Zhang took it, looked it over twice, and then chuckled. That's a good thing, right? So tomorrow Daddy will take a day off and set up a stall with Molly, okay? What do you want to sell? Candy, maybe? Daddy, I want to sell egg hamburgers. Ha? That's too difficult to make. You're still young, you can't do it. Let's sell candy. Although he asked for Molly's opinion, Kevin Zhang ultimately made the decision. Okay. Molly was a little disappointed, but also a little used to it. If she insisted on her own idea, her dad would definitely lecture her again. Things like, Daddy only wants what's best for you, your idea is so unrealistic, and so on. Alright then, it's settled. After dinner, you go read your literacy book for a while. Daddy will go prepare the supplies for tomorrow. Still with a kind smile, Kevin Zhang was very satisfied with his daughter's obedience. Afterward, Molly wanted to go to the supermarket with Kevin Zhang to buy candy, but was still refused by Kevin Zhang. So, in Kevin Zhang's house, under the bright lights, little Molly sat alone holding a literacy book, sometimes reading aloud, sometimes tracing and drawing. Livestream room. Most of the comments on the screen were praises for Kevin Zhang and Molly. Oh my god, this 80s dad really knows how to raise a child. He treats his daughter so well, so patiently, so responsibly. That's right, not to mention other things, just his cooking skills alone impress me. Molly is also so obedient. She does whatever her dad tells her to do, 1,000 times more obedient than my rebellious son. I think this is the parenting method we should learn from. That Ethan Vance guy is just, what even is he? However, while there was much praise, a few different opinions were also mixed in. Obedient is obedient, Molly doesn't cry or fuss, but I always feel it's a bit stifling. Right, it seems like since the program started, Molly has expressed many of her own ideas, but without exception, they were all rejected by her dad. Not watching, not watching. Molly is obedient, but I still prefer the way Lily and Ethan interact. A father's love is like a mountain. It can shield his child from a falling sky, but if the method is wrong, it can also suffocate the child. Time passed slowly. I also started discussing tomorrow's stall business with Lily. Sigh, what can we even sell? Isn't it just adults playing house with children? It's meaningless. Lily wasn't very interested, her eyes glued to the cartoon on TV. So you want to set up a real stall? I asked again. Of course, I do. Preferably one that can make real money. Lily nodded, a pang of heartache for her soon-to-be emptied piggy bank. Alright, leave this to Daddy. But don't complain about it being hard or tiring then. I extended my hand to Lily, and Lily, barefoot on the sofa, also reached out her small hand to high-five me. Night fell. Waiting for Lily and me to get sleepy, the cameraman's workday finally ended. In the livestream room, only a few fixed cameras installed in my house were still recording. I lay in bed, routinely starting my daily pre-sleep phone scrolling session. It's just that. After a few scrolls, I saw a video with extremely high popularity. In the video, it was clearly the everyday moments of me taking care of my child today. From the morning contest with Lily to see whose voice was louder, to taking Lily to school and telling her to learn if she could, and eat more if she couldn't. Then to picking Lily up from school in the afternoon, where I, without any regard for the teacher, demanded justice for Lily. All the potentially controversial details were edited into the video. Looking at the title again, I immediately burst out laughing. Shocking, is this Gen Z parenting style okay? Skimming through the video, I directly went to the comments section. The comments section was full of harsh words, mostly expressing dissatisfaction with my parenting methods. Among them, the comment with the most likes used the child's future achievements as an argument to criticize how unreliable my parenting methods were. I didn't bother to read it carefully. I also knew what the comments would roughly say: other people's children are all running, while you're letting your child walk slowly? Indulging in immediate gratification is irresponsible towards the future. Even there might be phrases like youth should endure hardship, so that old age won't be hard, and so on. To this, I didn't bother to respond at all. What I didn't expect was, after scrolling past that video, I successively scrolled past many videos related to whether my parenting methods were appropriate. Some videos were expert commentaries, some were blogger analyses, and there were even mothers and fathers expressing a myriad of emotions. But whether they were praising me or criticizing me, each video had a respectable number of likes and comments. Has the popularity increased? I vaguely guessed something. Open Twitter. Sure enough, the top trending topic was also about my parenting methods. Shocked? You should be. I just want to tell you all, there are many paths children can take, and each path holds countless possibilities. 2. Early the next morning. Today, I didn't have a shouting contest with Lily. And, I didn't take her out to eat. I cooked fresh shrimp and vegetable oatmeal, and made a few egg pancakes. Seeing this, the viewers in the live stream room exploded. Oh my God! Who said my parenting is unreliable? His cooking skills are no less than Kevin Zhang's. My apologies. Yesterday I said my chill parenting was shameful. It seems he really cares about the little girl. When you already have a prejudice against someone, it doesn't really matter if they do something wrong or not, because you'll just keep finding fault. Look how happily Lily is eating. This little foodie is so adorable. Where's that expert? She praised Kevin Zhang endlessly for cooking. Why isn't she praising me now? Hurry up and praise me. I was shallow. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would definitely think I ordered takeout. Ding dong. Hello, your food delivery has arrived. While the comment storm was moved to tears by my fatherly love, my doorbell in the live stream room suddenly rang. I went to open the door and took a bag of food from the delivery person. Daddy, what's that? Lily had just finished the last sip of oatmeal in her bowl when I placed the bag of food on the dining table. Oh, spicy frog hot pot and 2 chicken burgers. I answered very frankly and, without any concealment, took out a container of spicy frog hot pot and 2 chicken burgers from the bag. Come on, Lily, let's eat together. I even generously offered Lily a chicken burger, looking at her with an extremely sincere gaze. Burp. But I'm full. Lily opened her mouth, looking a bit tempted. It's okay if you're full. Just stuff a little more in. At worst, it'll be like last time: you eat too much, have a stomachache for 2 days, throw up a few times, and you'll be fine, I advised. However, Lily's little head shook like a rattle drum. No, I'm not eating. Eating too much is too uncomfortable. Last time she ate too much, she even threw up at school. It was so embarrassing. So you're choosing not to eat. Don't come crying to me later saying Daddy ate delicious food behind your back. Only then did I withdraw my hand, eating voraciously under Lily's watchful eyes. Daddy, didn't you say children should try to eat less oily and spicy food? Although her stomach couldn't take any more, Lily's eyes couldn't help but drift towards me, enjoying the delicacy. That's right, but Daddy isn't a child, I replied between bites. Lily. Cameraman. Everyone in the live stream room. Ha ha ha, this guy must be a reincarnated Sly Fox. I was just moved because he woke up early to make breakfast for the little girl. Turns out it was to make her full first, so he could enjoy the delicacies alone. Poor Lily, watching delicious food being offered to her but not being able to eat it. Ha, Ethan is too cruel. Doing this is even worse than secretly eating behind her back. Look how much she's craving it. Put. I was actually moved just now. You deceived my feelings. Learned it, haha. Finally, I don't have to secretly eat delicious food behind my child's back anymore. Ethan, you're the one who chose not to eat. Lily, this oxygen tube must be pulled. Not even the Monkey King can stop me. Brothers and sisters, you've learned a trick. What are you waiting for? Vote. It hadn't been long since the broadcast started. My support votes had already reached a staggering figure of over 200,000. This made Dr. Reed in the studio frown. She didn't understand. Parenting is such a serious and sacred matter. I was so reckless, without any rules, so willful. Why did so many people still support me? If I really won the championship and collaborated long-term with the program team, wouldn't the entire parenting approach of the nation be overturned? If that happened. She didn't dare to imagine what the younger generation would become. But things had come to this point, she could only watch, doing her best to correct my improper parenting methods, while also promoting Kevin Zhang's relatively traditional yet positive energy-filled parenting methods. On the other side, I had eaten and drunk to my heart's content. I took Lily's small hand and went downstairs. Lily's small face was a bit gloomy again, her little mouth pouting. Daddy, can you walk a little faster? I'm always late for school. At this rate, forget college, I won't even be able to roast sweet potatoes. Looking at the clock as we went out, Lily was a little helpless. Okay, this is a fantastic challenge. I'll transform this segment into a thoroughly American context, focusing on natural-sounding dialogue, cultural touchstones, and maintaining the original's quirky charm and core conflicts. Here's the Americanized version of that segment. However, when I led her to an old, slightly beat-up three-wheeled food cart, Lily's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Daddy, is this the little stall we're setting up today? Lily didn't know many words, but she'd tagged along with me to plenty of night markets and street food festivals. The gear on that trike? She'd seen it all before. I ruffled her hair, then scooped her up with one arm and plopped her into the cart's bed. Whether you get into Harvard or not, Dad's clueless, but sweet potatoes? You can definitely roast sweet potatoes. Let's go, time to make some bank. Her tiny helmet was fastened securely, and I put on my own. Then, the old cart slowly rumbled to life. The cameraman looked completely baffled. He took a few quick strides to catch up. Ethan, this school activity is supposed to be about developing their communication skills, financial literacy, EQ. Are you sure you're taking her to roast sweet potatoes? This kind of activity was pretty standard fare for most preschools. Parents usually just threw together some old toys, comic books, candy, or snacks, and half-heartedly played along with their kids' pretend business. But me? I was going for the real deal. No doubt about it. The cameraman's question was exactly what over 1 million viewers in my livestream chat were wondering. An explanation. They all needed a reasonable explanation. Isn't roasting sweet potatoes setting up a stall? I didn't answer directly, just tossed the question back at him. The cameraman was stunned but couldn't really argue. Well, yeah. So, selling roasted sweet potatoes doesn't require talking to people? Doesn't that build communication skills? It does. And roasting sweet potatoes doesn't involve collecting money? Doesn't that build financial literacy? Yeah, that too. And that EQ thing, I figure as long as you're interacting with people, you're building it. And no, you're not wrong. After a few back and forths, I just shrugged. So, me taking my daughter to run a roasted sweet potato stall, what's the problem? Go on. The cameraman really couldn't refute it. The viewers in the livestream chat also quieted down. And just like that, I pedaled the food cart, with over 1 million pairs of eyes from the livestream watching, further and further away. On the way, something suddenly occurred to me. Lily, do you know how to make our little stall attract more customers? A sales pitch. Lily answered without a second thought. I nodded, satisfied, then asked, so, how are you going to pitch it? This time, Lily was finally stumped. I didn't rush her, didn't give her any hints, just let her imagination run wild. After a moment, Lily flicked the switch on the small handheld megaphone I'd prepared. Then, a tiny, slightly whiny voice, full of adorable charm, boomed out. Mommy, Daddy, I want roasted sweet potatoes, eat a big one. Is one piece enough? It's enough. Thank you, Mommy and Daddy, you're the best. Me. This kid was a natural-born sweet potato sales prodigy. My little food cart, trundling down the street, was an absolute attention magnet. Even a few of Lily's classmates, upon seeing her, enthusiastically waved and called out. Lily! What are you selling today? Roasted sweet potatoes. What about you? Lily sat primly in the cart, her voice surprisingly loud. The other little kid, perched in his dad's convertible sports car, couldn't help but give Lily a thumbs up. You even know how to roast sweet potatoes? That's so cool. I'm selling dresses today. My mom said I have too many, so she told me to sell them. See you at preschool later, Lily. I'll come buy your sweet potatoes. The sports car roared off into the distance. The conversation between the two kids ended there. However, at this point, a few different opinions started popping up in the comments. I have a question. Why does Lily see her classmate in a sports car and show absolutely no signs of envy? I want to ask that too. My daughter sees another kid's Tesla and gets so jealous she can't stand it, saying my old jalopy embarrasses her. Jealous of cars? My son sees another kid wearing designer sneakers and his eyes turn green with envy. He insists on getting the exact same pair. It drives me crazy. That's right. Now that you mention it, I've noticed Lily always seems so carefree and confident. Sigh, no matter what, I don't believe Ethan is just chill parenting. He's definitely put a lot of thought and effort into Lily. OMG, I just came over from the 90s Dad's, Brandon's, livestream. I thought Brandon in a bright green frog costume leading his kid to sell frog dolls was explosive enough. I didn't expect Ethan to actually take his kid to roast sweet potatoes. Looks like out of these 3 dads, only Kevin, 80s dad, is normal. He's taking his kid to sell candy. Too bad these 3 dads aren't at the same school. If they were, it would be hilarious, huh? Meanwhile, before arriving at a different preschool, 90s dad Brandon Chen, decked out in a full-body green frog costume, was walking down the street with his daughter, Haley. Facing the incessant, amused stares from passers-by, Haley's little face flushed. Yesterday, her teacher had said parents should help their kids set up stalls. When they got home, her dad pulled out a frog costume. Said something about him having social anxiety, not wanting to meet people. He'd just be in charge of churning out frog dolls. How to sell them? He didn't care. Haley was speechless. As far as she knew, getting her dad, Brandon, to use a public restroom was a bit of a challenge. But to say her dad had social anxiety? That was complete and utter nonsense. Finally, under Haley's intense questioning, Brandon finally spilled the beans. Turns out, Brandon wasn't socially anxious, he just didn't want to run into his alternative high school sweetheart, whom he'd once chased relentlessly. That girl would also be taking her child to set up a stall today, and at the same preschool as Haley. This was a live broadcast. If he dared to make any kind of eye contact on camera with the former Grand Duchess of the Eternal Love Entombed clan. In Brandon's own words. Haley, you don't want your dad to meet an untimely end arranged by your mom, do you? Her dad had practically begged her. Haley could only let her father squeeze into the costume. As for the various prying, curious gazes from outsiders, her tiny frame would just have to bear it all. It was fine. As long as her dad didn't kick the bucket young. The viewers in livestream room number 2 were laughing so hard they were about to pass out. Yesterday he was late taking his kid to school, today he pulls this stunt. This 90s dad seemed even less reliable than the Gen Z dad. Turning to 80s dad Kevin Zhang. Today, Kevin was still the first parent to bring his child to school. On the way, Kevin repeatedly instructed Molly, when you talk to people, you must be polite, understand? Molly, do you remember how to price the candy? Don't make any mistakes when the time comes. Molly, after the little shopkeeper activity ends, you must return all the money you earned to the other children, okay? That way, you can make more friends. Kevin said a sentence. Molly nodded her head. All the way to the school. The teacher told Kevin to take his daughter to choose a stall spot first on the playground. The father and daughter walked around the playground once. Molly indeed found a spot she liked. Daddy, that spot has shade from a tree. It'll be hot at noon. Let's go under the tree. It had to be said. Molly, though only 5, was definitely not lacking in brains. But just as she was about to go claim the spot, her small hand was pulled back by Kevin. Molly, didn't Daddy tell you the story of Kong Rong yielding the pears? If we go there, it'll be hot at noon for us, but won't it be hot for the other children too? Molly, confronted by Kevin, stood in place, pursing her lips. Then, let's leave that spot for someone else. Although reluctant, Molly ultimately gave up the idea of claiming the spot. Naturally. There wasn't just one stall spot under the shade. Molly didn't take any of them. This scene was naturally witnessed by the teacher, who couldn't help but walk over and give Kevin a thumbs up. Molly's dad, I heard everything you just said. Teaching children humility isn't wrong, but there are so many spots under the trees, and you were the first to arrive. It's okay to take one. Hearing the teacher. The light in Molly's eyes immediately brightened again. But, Kevin repeatedly waved his hands. No, 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 if you want your child to understand this principle, you must practice it for it to be meaningful. It's not about just understanding the principle without acting on it. What's the use of understanding the principle then? Kevin's words made the smile on the teacher's face freeze. She could only give Molly a meaningful look and then leave. Before leaving, the teacher didn't forget to praise Kevin. I didn't expect Molly's dad to be so strict in educating his child. I admire that. Kevin, praised, beamed with delight, completely oblivious to the disappointment on Molly's face. He had brought Molly first, yet he directly led her to a spot that was currently exposed to the sun without any shade. In the studio, parenting expert Dr. Reed, whose expression had been consistently gloomy, only revealed a smile when she saw Kevin. Kevin truly always pays attention to his child's education, from diet, studies, speech, personality, from personal abilities to moral character, absolutely no blind spots. This kind of parenting method, with both detail and a broad perspective, is what truly deserves our promotion, attention, and learning. Dr. Reed smiled until her eyes crinkled, but this time her words only received scattered support from a few people on site. Even host Nikki, who never let a guest's words fall flat, only maintained a professional smile at this moment, offering no response. But Dr. Reed only smiled for a few seconds. The dissenting opinions in the comments made her face darken again. No way, you call letting your own child suffer being humble? Learn my grandma's foot. Learn what? Learn to let your kid get the short end of the stick? This expert, do you even know what humility is? The young yielding to the old and weak, the healthy yielding to the disabled, that's called humility. But if everyone is the same, why should I yield to you? That's right, Molly and Kevin were clearly the first to arrive. The teacher also said they could choose their spot first. So why not pick a good one? This isn't humility, this is being a doormat, this is being fake. Sorry, I absolutely cannot understand why you would demand this of a child. If it were Gen Z dad Ethan in room number 3, I think he definitely wouldn't let his child suffer like this. Hilarious. If this is humility, I'd rather my child didn't understand humility. Suffer a disadvantage? Let someone else do it. Alright, my support vote today was originally going to Kevin. Looking at it now, I should probably check out Ethan's livestream in room number 3. Peace out. After a full day of live streaming yesterday, coupled with my chill parenting hitting the trending topics, today, dad bods and dad squads could be said to have become a national sensation. Just the number of viewers in my livestream room alone had reached a terrifying figure of over 1,200,000. Adding the viewers from 80s dad Kevin Zhang's room number 1, and 90s dad Brandon Chen's room number 2. The total number of viewers across the 3 livestreams was nearly 3 million concurrent online viewers. As a live reality TV show, this level of attention was undoubtedly very good, even phenomenal. And now, because of Kevin teaching his daughter so-called humility in the livestream, the number of viewers in his livestream room instantly dropped by nearly a third. A small portion of this third went to 90s dad Brandon Chan's livestream to watch the green frog selling its young. But the vast majority still chose to come to my livestream room to watch me and Lily, this pair of happy-go-lucky frenemies. Over here, I had just brought Lily to the preschool. Lily's teacher, Ms. Wilson, immediately led a chubby little boy over to me and Lily. Behind that little boy stood a man and a woman who looked very much like a married couple. The family of 3 all shared similar features: short legs, wide waists, small eyes, and upturned eyebrows. "Kevin Jr., come and apologize to Lily," Ms. Wilson said, and the chubby little boy then reluctantly walked over. But he only glanced at Lily, his little mouth pouting, a look of defiance still on his face. However, before Ms. Wilson could prompt him to apologize again, the chubby man behind Kevin Jr. kicked him in the butt. "You little brat, didn't you hear me tell you to apologize? And you're bullying girls now? Didn't I teach you to be a gentleman like me?" The kick nearly sent Kevin Jr. sprawling. A flicker of fear finally appeared on his chubby little face. "Lily Vance, I'm sorry. I promise I won't bully you anymore." It seemed this kid was indeed a tough nut. Even after a kick, his tone still held a hint of resentment. But the teacher had made her stance clear. The other parents had made their stance clear. I didn't say anything more. However, I didn't rush to forgive on Lily's behalf, nor did I rush to exchange pleasantries with the teacher or Kevin Jr.'s parents. I just looked at Lily, like everyone else, silently waiting for her response. "Alright, since you got kicked, I forgive you." Actually, yesterday Lily was mostly angry about the teacher's unfair handling of the situation. Now that Kevin Jr. had apologized and even gotten a kick from his dad, Lily wasn't angry anymore. Her mature-sounding reply immediately made the surrounding adults chuckle. Lily also generously extended her hand to Kevin Jr. "I'm selling roasted sweet potatoes today. Come find me later, and I'll give you one for free." Noticing quite a few people were watching her, Lily had a flash of inspiration and seized the opportunity to announce her roasted sweet potato stall for the day. "Whoa! Really? Roasted sweet potatoes are my favorite." Kevin Jr., who had been a bit down, but hearing roasted sweet potatoes, his small eyes immediately lit up. The surrounding adults were also intrigued, curiously gathering around my food cart to inspect it. The roaster, charcoal, fresh sweet potatoes, and also a QR code for payment and a cash box for small change. The setup looked legit, but how would it taste? Before even officially opening, Lily's roasted sweet potato stall had already attracted plenty of attention. However, at this moment, the viewers in the livestream chat were marveling at something else. Damn! This is what parents should do. Protect their kids, stand up for them when they're treated unfairly, not just sit around doing nothing and making things worse for their kids. Lily must be feeling sweeter than honey right now. That's right, in her eyes, her dad is definitely her superhero. Sigh. I think the show should organize a Swap Dads, Swap Kids activity. Let Molly from room number 1 also experience the chill parenting style of the dad in room number 3. Honestly, I love Ethan's parenting style in room number 3. What are you all waiting for? Vote. Lily is so smart, she even remembered to promote her roasted sweet potato stall just now. What a clever little girl. Thank goodness I bailed from livestream room number 1 to number 3. I can't stand that suffering is a blessing logic. Ethan is the real MVP. While the comment storm raged, I had already led Lily to the playground. At this time, many stalls on the playground had already been claimed. Daddy! Over there! Kids have sharp eyes. Lily spotted a location she liked in an instant. All right. Without a second thought, I pushed the little food cart forward. Because there were too many little kids in the preschool, I hadn't used my feet to pedal since entering the school. But even just by pushing, we successfully claimed that stall spot. Then, I began to verify the god-tier street food skill I had drawn from the system. Actually, to be fair, roasting sweet potatoes itself isn't overly difficult. First, it's about selecting the ingredients. Which sweet potatoes taste good when roasted, which ones are inedible? There are many things to consider here. Next, it's the charcoal used for roasting, how to control the fire, and when to flip the sweet potatoes. After that. There's no after that. But it sounds simple. Yet without the support of the god-tier street food skill, the flavor produced would still be vastly different. I lit the charcoal, then washed a few sweet potatoes. Then I pulled open the small drawer on the roaster. After stuffing a few sweet potatoes in, I looked at Lily. I have a mission for you, wash all the remaining sweet potatoes and then put them here in reserve. Okay. Lily was eager to help. I assigned a task, and she immediately got busy. It's just that there was still quite a bit of dirt on the reserve sweet potatoes. One basin of water was filthy after washing just a few. Lily didn't mind the effort. Pitter-patter, she carried the small basin to the other side of the playground to get water. It's just that along the way, more than half the water splashed onto her. And at this moment, I had taken out a folding chair. After unfolding it, I lazily lounged back and opened my phone. Ahem, aren't you going to help her out? Look how tired she is. The cameraman couldn't help himself again, gently asking me. Huh? Help with what? I looked up, a blank expression on my face. Help her fetch water, wash the sweet potatoes. The cameraman replied very seriously. But hearing this, I shook my head repeatedly. Buddy, I pedaled that trike all this way. I'm exhausted, okay? Besides, this activity is called Little Shopkeeper. If I do everything, we might as well have stayed home and let her sleep. Cameraman. All right, another day of being irrefutable. My explanation was sincere, but this didn't stop the livestream viewers from exposing me. Ah, if you're lazy, just say you're lazy. He's still trying to sound all righteous. Lily, in the end, I trusted the wrong person. Starting his act again? He was only serious for less than half an hour, huh? It was also at this moment. After the Little Shopkeeper activity officially began in preschools across Metro City, a news van from Metro City News Channel set off. Alex, for this interview, you must focus on the positive aspects. Especially, highlight our city's emphasis on and dedication to early childhood education. Also, I've already arranged a few interview subjects for you with the school.